Today is our first flipped Math 8 lesson. We're going to go through a few definitions and we'll do a few problems at the end as well. Let's start off with the definition of a whole number. A whole number is a number without fractions or decimals, and it includes 0. So let's write that down. And some examples would be 0, 1, 2, could go 500, 1,000, etc. All right, the definition for natural number. So a natural number is a whole number, except it does not include 0. So some examples are 1, 2, 3, 5,000, or 500, and 1,000. All right, what about integer? An integer is a number that is not a fraction or a decimal. It includes negative numbers, it includes positive numbers, and 0. Some examples include negative 100, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 500, 1,000, etc. All right. Let's now look at the difference between prime numbers and composite numbers. And I think we need a little bit of a definition to start off with. So I'm going to put a definition down here for factors. And the definition of factor is numbers that you can multiply together to get another number. So our lists, I want us to look at the factors of 2. So the factors of 2 are 2 and 1. The factors of 3 are 3 itself and 1. The factors for 5 are 5 and 1. The factors for 7 are 7 and 1. And the factors for 11 are 11 and 1. And these numbers that only have factors of themselves and 1 are called prime numbers. So again, a prime number only has 2 factors, 1 and itself. For list B, I want us to do the same thing. I want us to list all the factors out for each number. So 4, 1, 2, and 4 are the factors of 4. For the factors of 3, we have 1, 2, 3, and 6. For 8, 8 has factors of 1, 2, 4, and 8. For 9, we have 1, 3, and 9 itself. And for 10, we have 1, 2, 5, and 10. And these numbers are called composite numbers. And a composite number is a number that has more than one factor. Excellent. All right, we're going to look at a little bit of notation now. So for exponents, if I want to write 2 to the power of 1, all that I have here is a 2 being multiplied by itself once. Sorry about that. If I'm looking at 2 to the power of 2, all that this is telling me, the exponent, it's telling me that I'm multiplying 2 by itself twice. The exponent 3 is telling me that 2 is being multiplied by itself 3 times. The exponent 4 is saying that I'm multiplying 2 by itself 4 times. And the exponent 5 is telling me that 2 is being multiplied by itself 5 times. If it asks you to write something in exponential or index form, they're looking for this right here. So this is exponential. And when we write it out like this, we call this expanded form. So here's some more vocabulary for us. Okay, I want you to try this side yourself. We call the 4 raised in 2 to the power of 4 the exponent, or you might also hear it being called the index. Okay, so i.e. the exponent of 5 to the power of 2 is 2. All right, our last little bit of material that we're going to go through today is our order of operations. And I know we've done this lots in the past, but just as a reminder, when we are simplifying an algebraic expression, we must follow a basic order. And we're first going to do brackets. Okay, we're going to simplify everything inside of those brackets. Then we're going to move on to exponents. Now, with division and multiplication, you can kind of interchange these. If you wanted to do multiplication before division, that's fine, or if you wanted to do division before multiplication, the order of this one doesn't matter. My suggestion is to start at the left, just like you read a book, and then go to the right. So do it in the order that you read it. The same kind of idea goes for addition and subtraction. These two here, you can actually do in either order. So if you wanted to do subtraction first, like if you're looking at the question and you've done all the other steps from the order of operations, and you see addition and then subtraction, go right ahead and do addition first. If you see subtraction first as you read left to right, then do the subtraction first. That's my suggestion. I have two examples here that I thought we could go through. And of course our acronym that we use, in general we use BEDMAS, but you might have also seen PEMDAS or PEDMAS. And that's because another word for brackets is parentheses. Alright, so let's do a few examples. So example 1, the first thing I hope you see as we're following BEDMAS is these brackets. We've got two brackets. Okay, and I can do those at the same time. If you want to do them one step at a time, that's fine as well. I like to write everything out as I'm doing it. So even though I'm not manipulating the 527, I'm going to write him down, and I'm going to write that plus sign right beside him. And then I'm going to do my first bracket, and that is 324 subtract 235. And just so we all remember how to do long subtraction here, I can't do 4 minus 5, so I'm going to borrow from the 2, and so I have 14 minus 5, which is going to be 9. And then what I'm left with here is a 1. So I have 1 minus 3, I'm going to have to borrow again, so I have 11 minus 3, which is 8. So what I have left in my first bracket is 89 multiplied by, and in my second bracket I have 14 take away 3, so I have 11 left in there. And this is what this is equal to. Now I go back and I start right back, and I say, okay, brackets, well, I do have brackets, but there's nothing in here that I can simplify anymore. So I have completed the bracket section. I don't have any exponents. I don't have any division, but I do have multiplication. So I'm going to complete my multiplication first. So I have 89 multiplied by 11. Now I'm writing out a bunch of work over to the side. I'm trying to keep all of my steps organized, so I suggest using just the column of your notebook to do out the work and keep everything very organized. So 1 multiplied by 9 is 9, 1 multiplied by 8 is 8, I put a 0 in, and 1 multiplied by 9 is 9, 1 multiplied by 8 is 8, so I have 9, 7, and that becomes a 9. So I have 979, so I'm going to rewrite this again. Even though I haven't manipulated my 527, I'm going to write him back down. My plus sign is still there, and I have 979. And then I'm going to add him together. So I have 527 plus 979. And if I add these together, I get 7 plus 9 is 16, and I carry the 1. And 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 7 is 10. I carry the 1. And then I have 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 9 is 15. So this is equal to 1,506. And this is my answer. Alright, example number 2. So I'm going to start my BEDMAS again, and I see brackets. Well, I've got some different brackets going on. I've got these square brackets, and then inside of those square brackets I have these little brackets. Now, the square brackets are just a different looking bracket. It's just so that you know that they're there. There's nothing special about them. It's just so that you know that the square brackets go with the square brackets and the circle brackets go with the circle brackets, and no one gets confused. Okay, so as soon as I get into these green brackets here, I have to start BEDMAS again. And so I come in here and I say brackets, and I do have my yellow brackets here, so that's going to be my first step. And there are some shortcuts that you can do. I'm not going to do any shortcuts on this because it's our first day, but if you know what they are, then go ahead. Hopefully you're doing the correct. Alright, so I'm going to go back into my brackets here, because I'm starting bedmass all over. As soon as I do my new line, I have to start bedmass again. And I don't have any brackets that I can manipulate. There's nothing inside of this that I can manipulate. So I come out of brackets and I go to exponents, and I have no exponents inside of those brackets. I have no division, but I do have multiplication. And it's really important you continue to follow the bedmass rules. I haven't done anything with the 6, so I'm writing him back down. And 3 times 9 is 27. Oops. And then I'm multiplying by 7 plus 8 multiplied by 5 squared. Alright, now I'm going to come back in these brackets one more time. I don't have any other brackets, so those are the only ones I'm looking at. And I have 6 plus 27 is 33. Multiplied by 7 plus 8 multiplied by 5 squared. And I'm going to start bedmass again. Now, these brackets have nothing in them that I can manipulate. So I'm going to go to the next step. I've got exponents. Well, yes, I have exponents right here. And 5 squared is the same thing as 5 multiplied by 5, which is just equal to 25. So I'm going to rewrite my new line. I don't need these anymore. They're not doing anything. So I'm going to write this as 33 multiplied by 7 plus 8 multiplied by 25. Now, I have some multiplication here, and I have multiplication here. Now, if you want to do them at the same time, that's fine. If you're not feeling confident with that, then do it individually. And so if you're not sure what 33 times 7 is, just go to the column and do the long way. So we've got 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 2 is 23. And I have 231 plus 8 multiplied by 25. And I'm just doing it in the order that I read, so right to left. Now, I go right back to bedmass, and the only thing that I have there is multiplication. The adding is going to come after. So I'm going 231 plus, and now if you don't know what 8 times 25 is, you can just multiply him out. And if you think about it, it takes 4 25s to go into 100. So if I'm doing 8, it's 200. But if you can't remember that, that's okay. 8 times 5 is 40. And then 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. And then all I have left is addition, and I'm going to have 431. And that is my answer. So again, my suggestion for these is try and be really organized. Keep your lines. Keep writing out what you haven't done. On the side, do your work. Okay? So you can see everything there. And good luck with the homework.